feel. Oh, they have Steam achievements? Let's get it. I just got an achievement, guys. I'm so happy. I like achievements. That's why I play PlayStation, because I like getting platinum trophies, even though I only have 3. Early the next morning, you were poking at your food, eating it slowly. Your sister Lizzie had run out earlier to go play, but you stayed put. Today, just like your mom's promised, Cove was coming over to hang out. Excited to see your new friend again, Ruvik? I guess.
Okay.
With that said, you are done with your breakfast. You like my mom voice? I think it's pretty great. Am I? I like being sarcastic. You gestured down to the empty dish in front of you, raising your eyebrows dramatically.
Okay.
Ooh, I can click the keyboard. If I click space, it goes to the next thing. We'll see. Or we see. We see. Good job. He should be here soon. Cleanup began. And then, on cue, there was a knock. It was hesitant, like the person wasn't sure they were in the right place. Still loud, though. We need to get a more obvious doorbell. I know. Rupert, could you get it? Oh, always sending the kid to do something. Always gotta go to the store to get snacks. Gotta do everything. Because Mom said so, you wandered over to the door. Hey, Raiden family. Thanks for having us. Mr. Holden, as your moms called him, and his son were here. Cove looked different in the bright lighting of your living room, and when he wasn't crying, with his dad standing in front of him and Mom and Mommy behind you, you and Cove looked at each other. You studied Cove apathetically. This was the parents' plan, not yours. Not seeming any more excited than you were, he just stared back. Do you want to go play in your room, Ruvik? Sure. So my room is this way.
Okay. Take care.
Let us know if you need anything, you two. Have fun, kids.
See you.
See you later, son. Play nice. You led him to your room, puffing out your chest a little bit at the sight of your treasures. There were lots of stuff. Animals, a cool bed, a window to look out.
Yeah, I gotta puff on my chest, 'cause I'm a bodybuilder.
It was a great room. You hadn't had anyone to show it to in a while, but you were really proud of it. He leaned in a little closer to one of your drawings on the wall. I like this. I drew that. You already know. Cool. You smiled at him. You were proud of that particular piece of art, and you were glad he noticed it. He turned around to the room a little more, studying the books on the desks and the pictures of the walls. You hoped he liked your room. You had put a lot of effort into making your room as nice as it was. You hoped he didn't say anything bad about it. Then his eyes landed on the tiny box of beach things you've collected tucked away at your door. By your door. He took a step forward before hesitating and pointing at it instead. What's that? It's the hoard of stuff I found on the beach.
Oh.
Do you have any driftwood in there? Dragging the box into the middle of the room, you and Cove flopped down next to it. I think I found my voice. I'm gonna be like this. I'm gonna talk like this. That's gonna be my voice. Alright, cool. Yeah. You gestured to a piece at the bottom, still covered with specks of
Neat.
sand, not stand. Will a real Slim Shady please stand up? Neat. This is a good collection. You got the sense from the tone of his voice that he wasn't just saying it to be nice, or to be like Shiloh. He actually meant it. Ah, Shiloh's coming over. Shiloh? My sister's friend. He wants to, meet you.
Do I have to see him?
What was that? Do I have to see him? It'll be okay, I think. Here, I found this shell in a log, and you pulled out the seashell after seashell, explaining where you've gotten each one and holding them up against the light. They were big ones, small ones, pink ones, purple, orange, you name it, I got it! Most of them you washed off in the bathroom sink when you brought them home, cleaning off the sand. Over the past few years, you'd even learned some of the scientific names. You had a whole picture book dedicated to the different shells in sea life. You'd learned a lot by flipping through the pages. Apparently fascinated either by the stories or by the shells themselves, Cove listened to what looked like the full force of his attention. It was a new experience to be the center of such a dedicated focus, even if it was only directed at the shells.
Kids, come down in the living room.
You could tell the idea was making him unhappy, but Mommy wasn't giving you much of a chance to hang out. Cove hadn't been like this meeting you. You guessed it was just because he thinks you found each other by accident, not that a parent made it happen. Mr. Holden must be right that telling Cove his dad was a part of that would be a bad idea. Before you knew it, you both were escorted downstairs and deposited in the living room like dead bodies in a river for the Shiloh's visit. The two of you sat side by side on the floor of your home's entryway. I brought a box of shells. I want to keep looking at them. Who told him to touch my shells? You should have asked. You should have asked. Sorry. Fine. What's done is done. You opened the lid, peering inside again. Cove reached in and pulled out a big orange shell. Oh. Like he hadn't spoken out loud yet. He turned to you and held it up. His eyes shining. I think this is the best of them. That's not my favorite. I don't like orange. Take it. Cove looked at you in surprise, his eyes going wide. Really? Sure. You like it a lot, right? Uh-huh. But I don't want to take it from you. It's okay. You got the impression he was hesitant to accept something because he didn't know you very well. I'ma insist, because I'm trying to get this orange one out of here. I need more room for the purple ones, for the blue ones. You already know the vibe. Nah, it's okay. It's for you. You pushed the shell against Cove's chest, willing him to receive the present, but Cove firmly shook his head and kept his arms tightly at his sides. It was a battle you couldn't win, at least not today. Cove was your neighbor now. Maybe you could give it to him another time. Wow. If someone offered me something, I'd be like, bet, I'm taking it right now. Thank you very much. I'm out. Unless it was food. Depends on who gives me food. If it's a stranger, I'm not taking food. The two of you were still sitting on the floor looking through your collection of beach findings when the doorbell finally rang. Cove jumped, startled by the sound. Since the person had knocked, you figured it was probably Shiloh. He knew where to look for that. Lizzie's friend? You nodded, but that didn't seem to make Cove feel better. It was already obvious that Cove didn't hide his feelings well. You could tell he was thinking right away. This isn't a good idea. I'm sorry. There's nowhere to go. Cove glanced around the room, his eyes wide, and finally paused with the gaze locked onto the back of the house. I can go out the window. He was already walking towards it. Scrambling to think of something to say, you stepped forward, then paused. You want to break your other arm? Shiloh is at least a scary person alive. Cheer up. Shiloh's gonna like you. Please don't get hurt. I'll come with you. Good idea, let's go. Even I don't jump out of any windows here, and this is my house. The distance from the first floor living room window wasn't far, but you could tell it made Cove nervous anyway. He touched the cast on his arm. Yeah, I got this man stinking, bro. The wind had clearly released from his sails. I don't want to break any more bones. No dip. No one wants to break a bone. I've never broken a bone in my life, and I don't plan on it. I don't think anyone wants to. Yeah. But I don't want to see him. I don't know. You teased him, you comforted him, or you encouraged him. I ain't gonna comfort nobody, but encouragement, sure. Trust me, you'll be okay. Okay. Shiloh poked his head in the living room. It was impossible to know for sure if he'd heard what you'd been saying or not, but you guessed that he had.
Hi! Cove?
Cove shot you an uneasy glance.
I'm Shiloh. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah. You have a lot of freckles.
Right, I do. What are you guys doing?
We're looking at shells.
Can I do it too?
Cove shrugged, then looked back at your box of beach findings. What about that one? The plan for the afternoon, at least as far as you were concerned, was to sit and look at the beach things some more. You weren't really in the mood to do much of anything else. You held out a recent find to Cove, a scallop shell that had washed up on a shore. It's a pretty color, kinda like my cast. The beautiful glittering pink did look a little bit like the wrap around his arm.
Pink's a nice color.
Okay.
Oh?
Is it your favorite?
Not really.
What is?
Maybe green or blue. It might be yellow.
Oh, those are all cool.
I guess.
There are better colors, you know. Says you. Like usual, it didn't take long for Shiloh to get fidgety. Lizzie was his favorite. Without her around, Shiloh didn't seem to know what to do with himself. And Cove wasn't like your sister. He wasn't that much like you either.
Is Lizzie coming back?
I don't know.
Where'd she go?
I think she's at the beach, probably.
Is she playing at her park?
Cove's eyes lifted at the mention of the park, and he looked towards you.
There's a park?
Yep. But it's old.
Can you show me?
I want to go. He started getting up before you had answered, and Shiloh jumped up beside him in excitement.
Really? You do too? Right, Rufrick. The park is fun.
I love it.
It's right at the beach, so there's a lot of fun stuff to do, and a lot of sand.
It's a jungle gym, and a bunch of swings. That sounds like it could be cool.
So, are we gonna find Lizzie?
I don't know. I never wanted to see her. I just want to check the park out. Adrift without any direction, Shiloh finally turned to you. Okay. He perked up. Both boys wanted to go. It was only fair. After getting permission from your moms, the three of you were ready to head out. Autobots roll out. You know what happened to all the lit music? It's gone. It was short to walk to the park. Lizzie had convinced your mom that it was short, so she should always be allowed to walk there by herself. When you found her, she was hanging on the jungle gym, swinging back and forth. Hey, Lizzie. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, Lizzie. Her face lit up when she saw you, her big brown eyes going wide.
Ruvrik, Shiloh. Hi.
She dropped to the ground and landed with a soft thud in the stand. In a split second, Shiloh had abandoned you two and scrambled over to the sand by her. You traitor! You were used to being left out when it was just the three of you, but Cove's here, so I guess you are not alone. You weren't sure if this was an improvement. Who's that? It's Cove. He's new.
Hi.
I remember. Hi, Cove.
That's gonna be her voice.
Welcome to my park. Nobody ever comes to play here, so this is where we get together.
She gestured wildly with her arms as if to present the area to the newcomer. Without interrupting Lizzie's speech, Cove whispered in your ear, quiet enough so that the others wouldn't overhear. I thought kids couldn't own places like parks or hills. You couldn't help but laugh a tiny bit. While Lizzie continued talking, you took the chance to kick off your shoes and wiggle your toes through this warm sand.
Nice, huh? In this neighborhood, I'm the one who comes up with the ideas.
You are!
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I am. Who else could handle the job? Lizzie's the oldest. By a lot. My mom says you're Ruvrik's age. Though, thought so. I'm still the only one in this group with double digits.
What about the other kids?
Other kids? There aren't any. We're the only kids here, and Shiloh is just visiting from another place. Not even tourists really bring their kids here. This is the land of ancients. Be careful the oldies don't try to steal your youth.
For a second, it looked like he might cry again. For goodness sake, please do not cry again. Don't do it. But something in his eyes shifted and he looked back at Lizzie. What kind of people? Like moms and dads or grandparents?
Grandparents who don't have kids. They hate kids.
Why? We haven't done anything. Only some of them don't like kids. You interjected quickly, hoping Lizzie wouldn't take things too far. Cove sniffled his forehead, increased with worry. Lizzie was staring Cove down, but Cove wasn't even looking at her anymore. He didn't seem to care that she was there. He went into his own head. Shiloh was the next one to speak, completely unaware of the situation.
I met Lizzie and Ruvrik in school. You'll see tons of kids there once summer is over.
I don't want to go to the new school. I don't want summer to end. Shiloh looked at the dirt. He hasn't had much luck striking up a conversation with Cove.
I like summer vacation a lot too.
All the building tension in the air suddenly vanished when Lizzie laughed. At Shiloh's discomfort, at how weird she thought Cove was, at something else entirely. You didn't really know, but she laughed, face scrunched up.
Welcome to Sunset Bird Cove. Take a seat, put your feet up to it.
Is right. For the rest of the summer, Cove was always there. Cove never left. He was all the way turned into one of us. Cove has become a new person, hopefully. You saw him more often than Shiloh, and on some days when she was in a bad mood, you even saw him more than Lizzie. He became a staple of your everyday life the way the sun and lunch and beach were. Can't forget about food. The first summer you hadn't really been interested in him one way or another. He was just kind of a fact of life. Someone you met with because he was there. Of course, that was only the start of things. Well, I'm gonna say right there, this isn't gonna be, some heavily edited thing. It's just gonna be something that I might do here and there, or I might do this kind of novel thing where I just make decisions and I read. Let me know if you like this down in the comments below, or tell me if you don't, and I'll never do it again. Or will I? But either way, let me know if you like it. And remember, if you're a bot, get out of my game, or else you're not getting a $20 bill.